This is the second part of the seasons reading. So this is what do you think orbits? Because the sun is so massive, its gravity is very strong. The force of the sun's gravitational pull holds all of the objects in the solar system, including the planets in their orbits. An orbit is a path an object takes as it revolves around another object. Each planet in our solar system revolves around the sun in a predictable orbit. That means it's always kind of in the same place. These orbits are not perfect circles. They are elliptical or oval-shaped. This means that each planet is sometimes closer to and sometimes farther away from the sun. So you can see here that it is an oval. It's not because they're trying to get it on the page. That's what it really looks like. And you can see here how many days it takes for each planet to orbit the sun, and it's in Earth days. Look out. Seasons. The fact that the Earth's distance from the sun changes throughout the year might seem like a good explanation for the seasons. You might think that Earth is colder when it's farther from the sun and warmer when it's closer to the sun. However, this explanation is incorrect. Not every part of the Earth experiences the same seasons at the same time. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. What then causes the seasons? Seasons are caused by Earth's tilt and revolution around the sun. Earth's axis is tilted at 23.5 degrees angle. If Earth's axis were not tilted, it would not experience different seasons. So the whole thing is that the seasons are not going to happen if the Earth was not tilted. Okay? As Earth revolves around the sun, sometimes the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. When the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, it receives more direct rays of sunlight. It is summer. In summer, days are longer and weather is warmer in the northern hemisphere, and plants have plenty of sunlight for photosynthesis and animals have plenty to eat. So you see here, this is winter. This is the North Pole. We are in the northern hemisphere. We are tilted away from the sun. Therefore, we are not getting as much direct sunlight. Opposite of the sun, we have summer when the northern hemisphere is leaning toward the sun. And you can see at the southern hemisphere, they're not getting as much sunlight or direct sunlight. Look out. Earth's tilt causes different amounts of sunlight to fall on the surface depending on whether you live in the northern or southern hemisphere. So this is the equator, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, Earth's axis. When the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, it receives more direct rays of sunlight than the southern hemisphere. During this time, the northern hemisphere experiences summer and the southern hemisphere experiences winter. When the southern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, it receives more direct rays of sunlight than the northern hemisphere. During this time, the southern hemisphere experiences summer and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. When Earth reaches the opposite side of its orbit, a process that takes about 6 months, because that's half a year, the southern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. It will receive more direct rays of sunlight, and the northern hemisphere will receive fewer. As a result, the southern hemisphere will experience summer, and the northern hemisphere will experience winter. Earth's axis and its revolution around the sun, not Earth's distance from the sun, cause the seasons. Seasons are more noticeable in places that are greater distances from the equator. That's the imaginary line around the horizontal center of the planet. No matter where Earth is along its orbit, the equator is never tilted away from the sun. It receives direct sunlight year-round. This is why climates and weather are generally warmer near the equator. While there is some variation, temperatures near the equator stay relatively constant from month to month.